call the meeting to order. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 2, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3, public comment. There are no public comment. Item 4, board services.
So this is one of the increments for Lawrence Jones. This is not the classroom, this is the fire alarm replacement. See the guaranteed maximum price. We've gone over this pretty carefully with Alton. We actually think it'll come in significantly below that, but this is the guaranteed maximum price.
So, questions? Did we work on the fire alarm system before at Lawrence Jones? And I guess my question is, since I'm not on the facilities committee, can you explain, are we replacing the entire fire alarm system?
Yes, we're replacing the entire fire alarm system.
Is that normal for this type of facility, or was this a botch job? Well, I'm not going to have you say it's a botch job originally, but why are, I would think a fire alarm, is it outdated? Is it obsolete?
Yeah, so it's outdated. The duct detectors are all in trouble.
Okay.
They can't be replaced because they're obsolete.
Okay.
There's bad wiring,
Okay.
underground wiring. It's just ready to be replaced.
Okay.
And the
So it's-
technology's
And
changed.
technology's changed.
Okay.
So, I mean, advantages of doing it at that site, we have numerous false alarms from kids pulling pull stations.
Right.
Now the new code makes it so that we don't have to have pull stations anymore because of all the false alarms. So that's a huge advantage for us. We're able to pull out all the pull stations, putting in new. It'll require more smoke detectors, but yeah, it's a huge advantage to replace.
Or is this something that we will anticipate at our other school sites too? As, I know it's not related to this, but I'm just curious. I mean, it's just, I'm not used to having to replace fire alarm. I mean, roofs and other things and stuff like that, so.
We've had to replace fire alarm control panels at other sites,
Right.
but we won't need to replace the entire system like we had to at other
Okay.
sites.
Okay.
Also, it was a proprietary system, so once you get into proprietary, it's harder to find parts. So we try to, anything that we do, we try to make it so that it's not proprietary, so that we can have anybody work on it, we can easily get parts.
Okay. In the bid, there's extent, the way they bid it, and then they showed a bunch of credits for, I guess, using existing conduits. Is that what that is?
Correct.
Okay. So why they bid it that way as opposed to just bidding it, including the conduits?
So,
Is it unknown?
So we don't want to run it, it's because they have to give us a guaranteed maximum price.
Right.
They are giving us the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Like what we experienced over at Richard Crane, you start getting into old piping,
Right, and then you can't use it.
you can't use it. So
Right.
they wanted to give us the worst case scenario, and then they're going to make every effort to utilize existing conduit.
Okay. And then one thing I really do like about this bid is the fact, even though this contractor's not what I consider local, he's Richmond. The biggest portion of this contract's going to our McClure
Mhm.
Electric, or 670, so that's local, so that, I appreciate that. But obviously, looks like they bid 3 people there.
So part of the requirement with the lease-leaseback project is that we have to have pre-qualified MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Right,
So they have to go with pre-qualified electricians.
right. Yeah, except if they're doing the work on other, because, they're not, I don't see that in all areas.
For MEPs, mechanical, electrical.
Okay, for that, okay.
And general contractor. Alton had to be pre-qualified as well.
Okay. Right. good. Thank you.
Can I get a motion for approval of the guaranteed maximum price for the Lawrence Jones Middle School fire alarm replacement project?
I move we approve the guaranteed maximum price for Lawrence Jones fire alarm replacement project.
I'll second.
We have first and second. Are there any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item B, approval of the guaranteed maximum price for the Evergreen Elementary School office modernization project.
So this is a ditto to what we did at,
Mostly.
At Crane.
We ran into trouble with DSA,
okay.
even though they were really separated by maybe not even a
Not
year.
even a year, no.
DSA imposed new requirements.
Was that
on us.
code changes? Or-
Yeah, but it's also just depends upon which DSA office and which DSA checker. They have their own opinion, so I know our architect had to spend quite a bit of time at DSA explaining to them, we literally just did one of these.
I'm smiling because as I go from one agency to another agency to do my contracting work, the rules change every
Yeah.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's frustrating.
The second thing that is a little bit frustrating here is it highlights the difference between the bidding environment a year ago and now.
Sure.
In discussing it with Wright, it was hard to compare apples to apples because they didn't cost out the Evergreen or the Richard Crane office really separate from the rest of the project, but their estimate is for that portion of the project, we probably went up 30% in a year. Because of just the
Materials mostly.
materials and yeah, just the change in Sonoma County effect plus materials cost in general.
And specifically, the threat of tariffs
Mhm.
is definitely increasing material prices.
It's a good thing that, I mean, there's so much steel in the tag building, it's a good thing we started the tag building when we did.
Right?
Yeah, otherwise you're looking probably $10 million more.
As you see articles in the paper about price gouging for rents and other things like this, too bad somebody can't be watching kind of as a watchdog, because, contractors, I think, are doing price gouging too. Materials have gone up.
Mhm.
I know my steel costs have gone up, but they haven't gone up 30%.
Right.
So there is, in my opinion, some price gouging here. And I just don't think it's fair to this organization, to the taxpayers or whatever, that these contractors get away with this, just with a blank check. So it's very frustrating to see that.
I think Mark had also indicated it's harder to get subs now, and that's really what's driving price too, is that, they're busy. Subs, if they don't want a job, and this was specifically noted, will just hugely overbid it, and thus you'll need to go find somebody else. And in fact, that's what's happened at the tag building on a couple pieces of it. And so, unfortunately, we're the beneficiary of what the climate is now.
The other alternative to that is to reassess the timeline to get jobs done, to wait and pay the fair market price, as opposed to being held hostage to getting things done because of the demand. So I don't know if we have any leeway in that kind of stuff, or we're just going to forge ahead and do all this stuff at the current rates.
For this
They can also go
project,
up, too.
yeah, for this project, we
Yeah.
think, to have it done for next school year, we need to move
No,
forward.
I understand that, but I
But
mean,
we have talked with some of the contractors about delaying some other, like I think Alton's thinking they might delay a bit the band classroom bidding, so it's more of a fall
Yeah.
work, because the summer pricing will be higher. So that's the thing. we're
Well,
considering.
and I think Mark indicated the same in regard to the buildings at Evergreen.
The MUs?
And yeah, the MUs is that, the summer stuff, it's harder to find people right now, and they're not scheduled out at the fall, and if we have time, and since these are additions, not subtractions, we're not tearing down something and replacing it, then we have the ability to wait for better pricing in fall. But you don't know if you're going to get it either. I mean, that's the other
Right.
piece of this, and yeah, he doesn't know if prices are. I don't know that we're going to see pricing like we did in past years. I mean, that ship may have sailed for a while.
There's so
Next
much,
recession will do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
who knows when that's gonna be.
right, exactly. Right now, there's so much building going on everywhere, and there's more money flying free.
I mean, we're probably fortunate that Santa Rosa City Schools is sort of stepping on itself over its $280 million bond, because they really have no projects in the pipeline. And so if they had a plan like we do, and they were trying to initiate on that plan, we'd have even a harder time finding people. I think prices would even be steeper. I mean, I think we're fortunate that they have other issues up there.
Now that they made their program manager the CEO, he probably will be spread pretty thin.
Yeah, so.
I mean, they're just a small portion of the big picture. I mean, there's so much going on in the
They
economy.
affect,
Not in this county,
Yeah,
though.
I would say in this county,
If you're looking for
$200 million
local workers and you're looking for that, then they have a huge, Santa Rosa City's huge here, along with the junior college district, yeah. And both of them have huge outstanding bonds out there. And right now, we're in line ahead of both. And we want to stay there, because if we get behind them, I think prices will even go higher.
I just think there's some gouging going on by contractors. It's not fair. It's not, you know, and to get the jobs done, to do that and pay 30% more sometimes. And we might have to get things done, but it's just not a fiscal. If someone came to me and said, okay, I'm gonna build your house and add 30% to it, and I had to wait 2 years, but you know, maybe some of these things can't wait 2 years. But for the things that can, I think we really need to look at that.
I mean, square foot replacement cost just on burned out fires has gone up about $100. And that's clear. I mean, you're looking at $350 a square on a lot of new homes that are being built. And just a year ago, it was probably around $275.
Yeah, but prices are, you know, we're getting off subject, but prices are coming in at $400,
Yeah.
$600, $800.
Well, we're talking about gouging, but I mean,
Yeah, no,
the
it's-
problem is that, you know, it's, you know, we're in today. I
Well,
think.
you've got so many areas in California that got burned out, so it's not just Sonoma County.
Yeah.
So you really, we were already short
Yeah.
construction workers to begin with. So your supply and demand on the industry is driving everything up.
Still doesn't justify paying too much money.
I move we approve the guaranteed maximum price for the Evergreen Elementary School office modernization project.
A second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item C, selection of delivery method, excuse me, for upcoming construction project converting Waldo Ronard Elementary to Technology High School and modernizing John Reed Elementary.
So C, give me a little bit of time here. I get home till late last night. It was like 12 o'clock when I was reading through this stuff. Just a question, why are we doing this today as opposed to next week at the board meeting?
Even a week makes a difference. Like, we're already doing things for John Reed. We'll
Okay.
need to incorporate that into a project,
Okay.
the portables and
Might
other
be
work.
ready in August.
Yeah, we
Okay.
discussed it. I mean, it's there's a lot we hope to get done by August.
No,
It makes a difference.
I realize, because you're combining two
Right.
schools and stuff.
We'll need the DSA over-the-counter approval for all the portable work that we're gonna do at John Reed. So that's an important aspect of it. Getting the plans moving forward.
Okay, so this is 4C. Here, so 4C. Oh. So 4C is installing the portables.
Well, it will include the lease-back methodology for the conversion of Waldo Rohnert, whatever name we're gonna use for now, Waldo Rohnert to Tech High, and then the work that we'll do at John Reed that we will involve a contractor in. A lot of the work at John Reed we will do ourselves, and so then that would not be included in the scope of work that we would see in a guaranteed maximum price.
And the portables will not be included, because they're in the next
That will
item.
will be a direct contract to bring the portables in, but we will have to involve an architect because they do have to go through DSA.
But I don't know cost yet, so this is just saying we're
This
going
is
to
just
use
a methodology.
lease back for that process.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can put an RFP out and make the selection.
All right. And then we'll come back later once we determine
Correct.
that. And we really don't know what the total cost of this is at this time.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's same
We
methodology.
have discussed with the architect a budget because the dollars are getting more finite. At this point, we don't think that there'll be huge expenses at John Reed. But with Waldo Rohnert conversion, using sort of a starting point of the $5 million from Sonoma State, and what would we need beyond that? Some of it, the cost we want to look at for that project would be what would we have to spend anyway if it remained an elementary school. For instance, if we have to do HVAC work or we have to replace windows, those are costs that we would have had anyway. They don't really have to do with the conversion.
Right.
But, with our bond dollars, we need to be frugal and keep some cost contained.
Okay. I guess, I understand the process, but I don't know what impact I'm voting on.
This isn't involving a vote on
Dollars.
money, it's just the methodology that allows us to make the contractor selection
And this is
then
the,
develop a scope of work.
I mean, this is the same project we've used on all lease backs. We're first
Well, it's,
selecting the lease
since the
backs.
state changed the
Yeah.
rules, yes, it's the same that we've done. Correct.
So I move the board select the lease back delivery method for the upcoming construction projects involving Waldo Rohnert, Tech High, and John Reed.
I'll second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Item D, ratification of the sale agreement with Mobile Modular for 4 portable classroom buildings for John Reed Elementary.
Can I go back just a second, just for clarification on 4C?
Sure.
Tim, you didn't ask any questions. Can I ask why you voted no?
No.
Thank you.
All right, item D. Can I get a motion to ratify the sale agreement with Mobile Modular for 4 portable classroom buildings for John Reed Elementary?
So moved.
I'll second.
Are there any questions?
Yeah. So where are the 4 modulars going? So obviously there's not enough capacity at that school to combine the 2.
It's really an expansion, and it's allowing them, 3 of them will help support special education services and needs,
Okay.
and I believe one of them will be for after-school care.
So will it be moving special ed from Waldo to, when you say for special ed?
So,
how's
as a
that-
combined TK through 5 campus,
Right,
there are enough general education classrooms.
right.
But we want to give them some additional space so that they don't have to use general education classrooms for some of the pull-out special education work. So that's the 3.
So the other, right now, both schools have pull-out?
They, be- one of the things that we've learned over the years is any school will expand to fit the space that it has. And then they get used to it.
You find that in the
Right?
house, you keep buying,
Exactly.
you buy
So-
more stuff to.
So they have certain space expectations that we could restrict them, but because they've been running the program a certain way, they'd like the ability to do that same methodology at the combined campus, and they just need a little bit more space to do it. One of them, again, for the after-school care, we probably will even have the portables right now that are servicing John Reed after-school care in pretty bad shape. So that's probably something we'll have to be looking at in the future. So there's already 2 there. Is that correct, Josh?
Correct.
For after
We're
school?
doubling the number of students we're gonna be serving at one school, basically. So,
Right.
the teachers don't like to have after-school programs in their regular classrooms, so giving the Y an extra room will enable them to separate the students by grade, which means they'll be able to do a better job of homework help.
So one's for after school, the other 3 are for special ed? Okay. So where do they go on the campus?
So one is gonna go right next to the other 2. And the other 3 will put on the other opposite end of the campus, closest to the park.
Okay. So these are 24 by 40, how do these compare to the same size as the other ones?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is this a 20 by 40?
They're 24 by 40, correct.
This is a 24 by 40? Okay. Similar setup to this?
Similar to what we're in right now.
Okay. Okay. And then, remind me, portable life is what? Just the state say
20 years.
20 years? Yeah.
If you maintain them
Yeah.
longer.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I have a motion already. Yeah, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed. Again, I'd like to ask why you are voting no since you had no questions.
Well, again, I decline to answer.
Thank you.
Item E, can I get a motion for adoption of Resolution 1718-12, CEQA exemption for the Evergreen Elementary School Office Modernization and Multi-Purpose Room Building Project?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, First and second, are there any questions?
Yeah, these are just, it looks like this is just something you have to do for environmental impacts. You don't have to do that, so for each of these projects.
Correct.
All right.
Because it's basically like for like with similar structures, we don't have to go
So
through.
this is, nice way of saying red tape, environmental stuff for.
Correct.
For each of these.
It's
Okay.
avoiding a lot of it,
And
Right.
saving us money,
yes.
And what?
saving us money. If we
Yeah,
had
no,
to do-
no, I realize if you did that, so, yeah. I mean, and probably most schools and projects do this, so you don't go through a full-blown.
You can't.
Correct.
It would be foolish, just like remodeling your house. Your house is there. There's no more traffic coming and whatever, so. Okay, just one clarification.
Mhm.
Thanks.
No problem.
Roll call?
Trustee Welchman?
Yes.
Trustee Orloff?
Yes.
Trustee Nahn?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes?
Trustee Farrell?
Yes. Item F, excuse me. Item F, adoption of Resolution 1718-13, CEQA exemption for the Lawrence Jones Middle School Band Room Building Project.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call?
Trustee Welchman?
Yes.
Trustee Orloff?
Yes.
Trustee Nahn?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes?
Trustee Farrell?
Yes. Item G, adoption of Resolution 1718-14, CEQA exemption for the University Elementary School Office Conversion and Multi-Purpose Room Building Project.
I move we adopt Resolution 1718-14, CEQA exemption for University Elementary Office Conversion and Multi-Purpose Room Building Project.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Welchman?
Yes.
Trustee Orloff?
Yes.
Trustee Nahn?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes?
Trustee Farrell?
Yes. All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay, thank you.